28, verse 16. Well, I'll read verse 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And here are the curses. These are the curses that so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are dealing with, okay, exclusively. But now, in these last days, they're starting to come on these other nations too. Because, matter of fact, that's Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, "And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." All right, that's how you know we at the end, the very end, because now these curses are slowly coming upon these other nations. Okay, but you know, since the time we got kicked out of our land, Israel, we've been going through them. This is verse 16. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field." No matter where you go, you can go to you can live in the big city, you can live in the suburbs, you can live in the country, you can live abroad. You're not gonna escape these curses. All right. Verse 17, "Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." All right. So when we go to the grocery store, we ain't getting the best of the best. All right. We got a budget. We can't go to Whole Foods like these so-called white people, and they just go and just put whatever they want in the basket. They ain't like, okay, every you put something in the basket, all right, that's $5. Okay, all right, I gotta put that, that's $2. Okay, 5 and 2, that's 7. Okay, all right, I gotta put this on. All right, that's $3 right there. 5, 2, and 7. Okay, that's 10. You know, they ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? Then they get the Fruit Loops, but we get the Fruit Rounds. You know what I'm saying? We get the generic. You know what I'm saying? Even not that stuff is any good anyway, but I'm just using it as an example. They get the best cuts of meat and the best of the best. But verse 22. It says, "The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword and with blastings and with mildew that shall pursue thee until thou perish." All these different things that we deal with, even in our houses, the mildew and it says with fever and consumption. We the most consuming people of all nations. All right, they get rich off of us. Just getting stuff. Let me keep going. This is verse 25. It says, "The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth." So every time another people took over the kingdom, we went in to captivity under them. Okay, we have never governed ourselves since we got kicked out of our land. All right, this is part of the curses that we deal with. This is verse 28. It says, "The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and with astonishment of heart." And that's what we are. We just mad. Our people are just totally blind. Blind to the truth. Astonishment of heart. Okay. Jumping to verse 30. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her." How many times did our slave masters and their slave masters' friends come and just slept with our wives? Just pick whatever. Oh, they married. Oh, so what? Here, you have, they depict that in certain movies. Okay. It says, "Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein." We built the big houses for our slave owners. Did we live in the big house? Nope. We stayed in the little shacks and shanties, or whatever they was called. It says, "Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shall not gather the grapes thereof." All right, we planted all those cotton fields, tobacco fields, and so on and so forth. Was we gathering them for ourselves? All right, to be in control of them? Nope. Verse 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. How many times did we wind up being on the auction block, and they take a family and they sell one other family to this plantation owner in Georgia, this plantation owner in Arkansas, this plantation owner in Mississippi, and you never see your kids again. They take them, snatch them right from you, and the mother and the father, they just shut up. And you can't do nothing but just cry and never see your children again. Who that happened to? Okay? Who did that happen to? That's part of the curses that we're dealing with right now. That's verse 32. Carrying on, let me go to verse 41. It says, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. They're going to be in control of them. Even now, you sign your kids over by that birth certificate. All right. And they can, give them vaccines. If you don't want to give them a vaccine, they say you're a bad parent. You're the mother is the informant. When she signed her name, informant. All right, she's basically signing them over unto whatever state, basically the government. Okay, and they're not yours. You can't have the power to do and discipline your kids and do the things that you want to do. And especially in today's time, man, you discipline your kids and give them a whooping, you go to jail. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put them in these schools because they got trannies now teaching and stuff like that. Your kids, but if you want to take them out, they say you're an unfit parent and they'll take them away. They in captivity even right now. All right. This is verse 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come very low. And that's where we are right now. Very low. Very low. All right. Carrying on. Verse 54. Verse 54, it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. We gang banging against each other. We rep every little thing. And if you ain't part of what that person repping, then you an enemy. You step on somebody's Jordans, you mess around, get killed. They, killing for little starter jackets and this, that, and the other thing. The littlest beef. You know what I'm saying? Our people, here it is. We kill each other. We kill each other. We don't be going to kill these other nations. You know what I'm saying? But which right now we shouldn't be killing nobody. But here it is, our people. This is what we do. This is part of the curses that we as Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the Israelites. These are the curses that we're dealing with right now. We are the protagonists, and we are going through all these things. Thy eye shall be evil toward thy brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Which he shall leave. How many single parent homes out there? All right. And it was all set up to be like that. All right. It was all set up to be like that, ultimately from the Most High. Then under that, the so-called white man, the antagonist, he have set it up to be just like that. You can't get no government assistance and all these things that you're getting if there's a father in the house. Okay. These things are all set up, all right, for our downfall, for us to be niggas, spicks and tontos, hating each other, killing each other, not caring, being the worst of the worst, drug dealers, sleep. Well, let me keep going. Verse 56, it says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. How many, they just talk slick. You ain't this, you ain't shit, nigga. Or you ain't got this, or I ain't got this. You just a nothing, nigga. And you know what I'm saying? This is part of the curses that we're dealing with. Okay? It says, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. All right, leaving them in the house, leaving them in the car, going to party, going to do this. Got the kids all dirty, wet, dirty, pamper, all outside. Don't know what the hell, just niggas. You know what I'm saying? This is part of the curses. All right, this is part of the curses. Wake up, my people. All right, this is verse 59. It says, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Look at all these diseases our people got, whether it's STDs, or whether it's cancer, whether it's dementia, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's diabetes, whether it's so prevalent in the Israelite community. Okay, meaning so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, these different diseases and sicknesses. All right, and a lot because of what we eat, which is contrary to what the scriptures say eat and don't eat. Okay, this is why, you know, it says, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas thou wert as the stars of heaven for a multitude. Just like he spoke of the Israelites when he said that they were as the dust of the earth and the stars of heaven. All right. But now we minorities. They call us minorities. This is part of the curses that was supposed to happen. Because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so he will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. You're going to be scattered all over the earth and be under whatever nation of people you're going to be under. From the one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and a sorrow of mind. And this is what we going through today. All right, verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Egypt basically means double straits, which is the house of bondage, captivity. We right here now in this captivity again. How did we get here? With ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. See what? Our land, Israel, again. It says, and there, when we get in these captivities, ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning no man shall redeem you. No man shall rescue you. No man shall redeem you from that condition that you're in, except the Most High God when he see fit that it's time for us to be redeemed. And he set us back in our own land. Until then, we're going to be going through all these different things. Why? Because we were appointed to these things. All right? According to 1 Thessalonians, this is part of the movie, y'all. We got to take all these L's right now. This is 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 3 and 3. It says that no man should be moved by these afflictions. All right, don't just worry. Don't be moved by these afflictions to where you just you're all jacked up and fucked up. Excuse my French. It says, for yourselves know that we were appointed thereto. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that ye should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and ye know. It says that we were appointed to thereto, to all these afflictions. So don't be moved by it, because it's working something, really. All right. It says we were appointed thereto. Why? Why were we appointed thereto? Couple reasons. Here go one. Jeremiah 5 and 19. And it shall come to pass, when ye shall say, wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us? Wherefore doeth the Lord our God all these things unto us? Why are we cursed? Why are we dealing with these curses of Deuteronomy 28? Why are we, the bottom of the bottom, the lowest of the lowest? If we, the earth was made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? Like Edris asks, why are we going through all these things? It says, then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me and served strange gods in your land, so shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours. Okay? So, for one, it's because of our disobedience and we under a punishment. Okay? That's for one. But then, also, 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12. It says, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. All right. It's not for our destruction. It's for a chastening of our nation. All right. And we always get the definition of that word chasten, which means to punish for the sake of moral improvement. So the Lord is morally improving us by us going through all these things and us overcoming them and coming back to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who we are, and following these law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, forsaking this present evil world, forsaking our flesh, okay, and learning from all these things. So we're going through all these calamities, all these curses, all these different things that we go through, not for our destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. And not only for a moral improvement, but coupled with a punishment for our disobedience. Okay? So it says, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish till they become to the height of the fullness of their sins. See, he ain't punishing them. He ain't morally improving them, because we his special chosen children. That's why in Amos it says, Amos 3 and 1, it says, hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. I will morally improve you for your iniquities, right? Let me